People often ask me, what's the horological sleeping giant? What's the best investment I could make if trying to invest in watch world, as it were? Well, for me, the answer is a combination of things. It's about rarity and it's about quality. The good news is that those two aspects don't always correlate and pertain to the market that we're in. For example, today, the market is largely driven by, no offense to any collectors of said pieces out there, but it's driven by 5711 Patek Nautiluses, it's driven by Aquanauts, it's driven by Batmen and Hulks and Kermits, etc. Now this is all well and good when we're on a horological wave, as it were, of kind of blue chip, hyped stuff. But when the quality doesn't actually match the rarity, then at some point there's going to be a dip. Now the good news is that if one's willing to wait it out and believe in the fact that the quality versus rarity aspect does always play out in the end, then the horological world can be your oyster, if you like. And you can invest in items like this pearl here, which should surely be a £1 million watch. And I have little doubt that in the next decade, it probably will be. But enough of this bad boy. We'll come to this one a little later. But for now, I want to talk about the Vacheron Constantin 47112 Perpetual Calendar chronograph versus the Patek Philippe 3970 Perpetual Calendar chronograph. Now, the Patek Philippe 3970 and Vacheron Constantin 47112 both utilize the Lemania chronograph Eboche movements, before, of course, both taking their respective movements and working their horological magic, their in-house horological magic upon them. The 3970, however, the 3970 was in production for over double the amount of time as the 47112. And if we take into account the rarity aspect of collectability, of collecting watches, if you like, just look at Chrono 24 right now, and you can see that I think there are 46 3970s of all guises available, whereas with the 47112, whereas with this bad boy here, there are only 6. Now, as far as their respective quality, well, I mean, see for yourself. For me, the Vacheron 47112 is every bit as good as the Patek Philippe 3970. And if not, you know what? It's probably slightly better. I mean, they put icing on the icing of the horological cake. I mean, look at the moonface discs alone. Even the hands are a split finish on the 47112, consisting of a micro-BA finish on one side and a polished finish on the other. Why? Because Vacheron Constantin know that in certain lights it can be tricky to see the dials, especially on a black dial. So they give it that little extra bit. They go that extra mile. And now we have to consider the fashion aspect of collectability. As previously said, we are in a sports horological world right now. So to be a complicated dress watch and survive, you've really got to be on point. Now for me, I like smaller watches. I find them somewhat chic, if you like. But on the whole, people do not want 36mm watches. They want 40 or bigger. That's just the way the horological collecting world is right now. And on that note, I'm afraid the Vacheron wins out again, as you can see. 36mm, V39mm. I'm afraid today, as far as sellability, general sellability, that's a no contest, folks. But when you take into account the rarity aspect and the fact that the 47112 retailed for 35 to 40% more than the Patek Philippe 3970, and then you take into account that today the 3970 in the market is roughly 35 to 40% more than the 47112, and the fact that there are times 10 as many 3970s that have been made as to the 47112. I mean, it's not rocket science. At some point, this bad boy's going to come good.